Just going to take a couple of minutes here, America, and I want you to hopefully understand what I've been trying to get across to the American people, um, well, for quite some time now. Most of the alternative media sites, which I hate the connotation with that because you might as well call them the real media sites, have been telling the American people for years that the mainstream media is lying to you and feeding you with propaganda. They changed the Smith-Mundt Act and the NDAA, National Defense Authorization Act of 2013, allowing propaganda against the American people to be used inside the borders of the United States of America. You can go look up this act for yourself and you can see the effects of it in this election. Now, we've already seen the viral video going of them sitting up live on NBC, MSNBC, apologizing to the world for their collusion and propaganda against the American people when all of the mainstream media would have you believe that Hillary Clinton had a 90-something% chance to win, and there was basically no reason to go and vote at all. Right? This came out today, and this is another little tidbit here. The New York Times publisher vows to rededicate paper to reporting honestly. And as you can see right here, this is a tweet from Sydney Ember. It says, letter to New York Times readers from Arthur Sulzberger Jr. and Dean Bakewit. And it says right here, if you go to this letter right here, see the New York Times to our readers, and you scroll right down here, it says, as we reflect on this week's momentous result and the months of reporting and polling that preceded that, we aim to rededicate ourselves to the fundamental mission of Times journalism. That is to report America and the world honestly. Stop right there. The reason that they have to rededicate themselves to reporting honestly is because for the whole duration of this election, all of the mainstream media has been reporting dishonestly. And in layman's term, they have been lying their ass off to the American people to get the result the government wanted by spewing your brain with propaganda over the television and over the internet. But yet, Edward Snowden still sits in asylum in Russia for trying to tell the American people about what the government was up to with their spying and their surveillance and their propaganda. We can go over here, and I'm going to show you an instance that I came across today of more blatant propaganda coming from the mainstream media that's absolutely, in my opinion, disgusting and disturbing, and this is the kind of thing that you need to watch out for. Now, I found this article through Yahoo, the 5th most popular website in America for several years in a row. And let's not forget, they're tied up in this whole cover-up deal too, because Hillary Clinton's classified emails ended up with her campaign manager John Podesta's hard drive, and the links to the emails onward went to Yahoo. Big surprise that 500 million people got their accounts hacked, and a state-sponsored government hack trying to get access to these emails. Now, this article linked over from Yahoo, who was very much involved in this email scandal, so much so that after this hack occurred, they decided to sell the company because of falling sales, if you want to believe that. Now, what this article is discussing is the future chief of staff pick of Donald Trump and how it's to signal the direction of the presidency. Now, it's basically talking about these three different candidates for his chief of staff, okay? And it's talking right here. It says the incoming president repeatedly vowed to drain the swamp during his campaign's final weeks. Yet both Priebus and Conway have operated for years in that same Washington swamp. And what they're talking about here is Priebus and Conway are two different candidates they feel are good possibilities to be his chief of staff. But what I want to point out here is this next line. Now they're talking about Bannon, right? And what they're talking about is Steve Bannon, who is CEO of the Trump campaign and is the CEO of Breitbart News, one of the leading alternative news sites, because your mainstream media is lying to you. People like me, and people like InfoWars, and people like Matt Drudge, and all these other people have viewers because we're actually trying to tell America the truth, and your mainstream media doesn't do that anymore. And what it says right here about Bannon is more evidence of the brainwashing of Americans by the mainstream media. It says Bannon, by contrast, would represent a dramatically different direction, having spent recent years leading a conservative news site that fueled conspiracy theories popular with the alt-right movement of white nationalists. So basically what they just told most Americans in that one sentence is this dude here is some crazy dude who thinks up these crazy bullshit ideas that are not true about the government and sends them out to a bunch of white, racist, redneck terrorists. Right? That's pretty much exactly what they just said right there. When really, all he did was go and make a news agency to try to get to tell the American people the truth, because CNN and MSC and the New York Times and a lot, Associated Press and Reuters, are all spewing propaganda for the U.S. government. And I gotta bring this up again, because it wasn't just the media that got involved in this thing. I gotta show you this again. Everybody thought this was the holiday cup, but it wasn't. But look right there. This is the Starbucks cup they made specifically for the election. Starbucks is a big-time company. The CEO of Starbucks is a big-time Hillary Clinton supporter. So he made this Unity cup, which is basically a stronger together Hillary campaign slogan cup. And he even went so far, as you can see when you look at the people there, to actually put Hillary Clinton's face right on the cup. And as soon as the election was over, no one was allowed to use the cup at the stores anymore, and they brought out their new Christmas cups. Okay, so it's not just the media anymore, guys. We're talking about corporate brainwashing. Okay? This is the stuff you need to watch out for, and this is just another example that you guys need to wake up. I mean, look. Imagine you're running for president, you as an individual, and every news agency on the planet says you have about a 2% chance of winning against Hillary Clinton, and they just beat it into the head of the first page of their news every single day. Well, guess what? That's what they did to Donald Trump. That's why they're coming out and apologizing for lying to the American people and filling them with propaganda. And yet somehow he still won. Can you imagine how much greater the differential might be if the mainstream media had actually told the truth to the American people? But these people don't want to hear that. They want to go and start riots and burn down the streets. The same people preaching unity and the same people criticizing Trump for not willing to accept an election where all the indications of voter fraud were going against him and going for Hillary Clinton. Pretty interesting irony. Time to wake up, America.